First leg is Nathan to throw first. Game on.
Brand new venue on the European Tour for the European Darts Open, one of the longest running events on the European Tour. Of course, it was always held in Dusseldorf prior to this weekend.
100.
But it's had a bit of an upgrade. We've got a capacity of well over 3,000 here. It'll be reaching close to that capacity over the course of this weekend. 3 days of action. And as always, 25 grand to the winner, 135 grand prize pot. And Mark Walsh and Nathan Aspinall, the first two players in action to kick us off.
131.
Yeah, veteran against a rising star. Aspinall, a former World Youth Championship finalist, beaten by Max Hupp, who again failed to qualify for one of these German events and is struggling to not only qualify for the European Championship, but perhaps the World Championship as well.
Yeah, I know Max is feeling the pressure of that every single interview that he does here in Germany. It's always, you're on the verge, you're on the margins of qualification for the World Championship. Are you going to make it? Are you going to make it? Well, the only answer he's got is, I don't know. But not qualifying for this, beaten by Dragutin Horvat in the host nation qualifiers last night, means that it's another opportunity missed by the Maximizer. You will see a couple of hops today. One of them is Nathan Aspinall's when he throws his dart, the other James Wade. There you go. Up and down. Not a bad start from the Asp. 47 left after 4 visits. Walsh is breathing down his neck now, isn't he? Oh, very nearly into the treble 17 he was after. So there is pressure, perhaps not quite as much as there might have been. Tops. Tens.
37.
Maybe the pressure told.
Mark, you require 69.
Yeah, missed doubles for Aspinall in this opening leg. Walshy looking to steal a march straight away. Now he wants double top, the target. He just saw his opponent miss. 49. And he does make the same mistake.
Nathan, you require 10.
Good guide. Yeah, used it very well. Nathan Aspinall takes out the 10 on double 5. 1-0 to the man from Stockport. 6th year we've had the European Darts Open. We've had, well, a number of different winners. Michael van Goens won it a couple of times. Robert Thornton won it. 100. Peter Wright won it. And Raymond van Barneveld won the first one. Beat Dave Chisnell in the final back in 2012. No Barney here today, though. Didn't get through the European qualifiers last night. Beaten in the first round by Roby John Rodriguez, who himself was beaten later on in qualifying.
Why is Raymond van Barneveld playing in European qualifiers? Give us your
100.
Detailed analysis to that, Dan.
Well, as always on these European qualifiers, we have 16 seeded players. They're worked out on their performances over the last year on what we call the Pro Tour. So that's the Euro Tour, the Players' Championship events that you see in leisure centres and the bright lights of Wigan and Barnsley and Milton Keynes. And of course the UK Open qualifiers that we hold at the start of the year.
140.
Now Barney, been playing in quite a few of them. Certainly the start of the year, he was playing in everything, wasn't he? But he's not played in all of them.
140.
And so he's not got high enough to be in that top 16 in the seeding. So he has to play these qualifiers, despite being a 5-time world champion and a top 10 player. And they're not easy, these qualifiers.
Well, they're not. We're seeing the likes of James Wade in action on the opening day today. He himself having to come through qualifiers for this event. He takes on Justin Pipe in the first match of this evening. Plenty of big names haven't made it through. So these two privileged to be on this stage this weekend. And is Walshy going to get going with a ton plus checkout? Double top to do so.
96.
Again, just pulled low.
You require 36.
Another dart missed at tops by Mark Walsh and Aspinall. Double 18. Likes this double. That looks a good guide. Oh, over the other side of the board for double 9.
27. Mark, you require 20.
Well, a reverse replay of the first leg. But it would need Mark Walsh to find the target.
No score.
He's unable to do so.
The first dart looked good. The second dart made things really awkward for Mark Walsh there. You could see him move over to the left-hand side. Aspinall to punish him, to break the throw for 2-0.
5.
Not to be. 5 darts missed by Nathan Aspinall. Scoring's been all right from Aspinall so far. Giving himself chance of legs in sub-15 darts. But we've got a level game at 1 apiece.
Third leg is Nathan to throw first. He won.
Well, each player has had a chance to win each leg. But it's 1 apiece. These two men both won their first round game back at the German Darts Open in April. Nathan Aspinall, you may remember beating Robert Thornton. Walsh saw off Jimi Hendrix that day.
He's been good at getting through the first round so far, Nathan. I mean, we have seen him on the European Tour. It's not just in Saarbrücken where we saw him. We saw him at the European Match Play as well, where he managed to come through his opening game, but hasn't gone past the second round stage. Walsh is just his second appearance on the European Tour this year, so chances few and far between. But then again, you know, talking about Barney's made 1 of the first 8. So we've got 4 more events left this year, and the only way you get to the European Championship in Hasselt, one of the big TV tournaments of the year, is by virtue of your performances here. Barney left it so late last year, had to go on a run for the final in Sindelfingen in the last event of the year, couldn't do it, well, his last event of the year, and he just missed out. And the clock is ticking for Raymond van Barneveld, as it is for everybody, to get enough prize money over the course of these events to make it to the European Championship.
Yeah, and it's one where players will hope to make some hay if they do get there, because it's a tournament that won't include Phil the Power Taylor, won't include the world number 2 Gary Anderson, might not include Raymond van Barneveld, might not include Adrian Lewis. Michael van Gerwen and Peter Wright will be there. We've established that.
Yes.
Winning 3 European Tour events apiece in 2017.
The rejuvenated Michael Smith will as well. As Aspinall, 111 checkout. Walsh couldn't take out the 116 last time. He leaves himself double 16 and misses outside. And every single leg, Aspinall is getting darts at doubles.
Oh, and so is Mark Walsh. And he's got 2 here. He's missed tops twice already. Does not miss this time and gets a break of throw.
4th leg is Mark to throw first. He won.
Yeah, it has been the most successful players on the European Tour who've been picking up the titles this year. Peter Wright has obviously won 3, which takes his career haul to 4, when you add in this very tournament a couple of years back. Michael Smith had 3 prior to this year, and he's picked up his 4th, winning in Gibraltar. And Michael van Gerwen's just been doing what Michael van Gerwen does, which is picking up Euro Tours left, right and centre. He has an unreal record of 17 European Tour titles for the 3 this year. There's a chance for MVG to win here this weekend. Not only make it 18 in his career, but make it 4 for this season. As many as anybody else has won in their career.
He had a fabulous final last weekend in Vienna. Michael van Gerwen ranked it right at the top of his European Tour wins. That 170 checkout from Michael Smith looked to have really grabbed control of the match for him, but Michael van Gerwen had other ideas, as he often does.
100.
And he just seems to be hitting his top form just ahead of the World Match Play, which is coming up next month.
Aspinall, well, he took a gamble there. 180 to leave 125, but just 140 is a bogey number, and it probably doesn't matter because Walsh is, well, again, these are guys with, what,
100.
80 years aggregate age between them, a lot of dart playing time between them, and they could have left themselves in serious counting problems here.
53.
But once again, Aspinall is going to get darts, you would think, for a leg. It's whether he can actually take them out, because at the moment, Nathan Aspinall's finishing is 10%. That ain't good enough.
59. Nathan, you require 72.
Well, he might get plenty of darts at double, but he'd love to finish it off in this visit. Double top.
52. Mark, you require 140.
Now this would hurt Nathan Aspinall.
Take a ton from here, Walsh. Can he squeeze it in between those two? He can.
100.
And he does. And with Aspinall's finishing as it is, he'll fancy this. Double five. Well, it's the only double he's hit so far, but he does break straight back, Nathan Aspinall. 2-2.
Nathan Aspinall signalled a sign of his current form with a win in a Challenge Tour event in May. That's his first Challenge Tour title. Walsh, a man who's won several titles in his professional career, over half a dozen in fact PDC titles, also reached the final of the UK Open in years gone by, but has had his darting demons to battle with.
99.
Yeah, Mark Walsh, one of the few players to come back from dartitis, of course, but still, you know, perhaps played some of his best stuff after that. Absolutely phenomenal record, Mark Walsh, in his professional career. Not only all those titles that you mentioned and the UK Open final, but semi-final of the Grand Slam, 3-time European Championship quarter-final.
44.
And this was a guy who, by his own admission, counted himself as, you know, not a big stage player. He's a floor player, Mark Walsh. That was where he did his most damage. He felt he could compete with the very best in the world
58.
in, you know, the clubs and leisure centres. They play the floor events. But when it got on the big stage, he never seemed to find his best stuff. And yet, he was a regular in the latter stages of
100.
It was a, what?
95.
An 8-year spell where Mark Walsh made the second round of the match play 7 years out of those 8. That was Walsh. He'd get to the, he'd do enough to get to the match play. He'd win a game and then
100.
didn't go any further. Curious. And you've got other players who've had runs to semi-finals and finals in big tournaments on a pretty regular basis, but don't have the haul of titles on the floor that Mark Walsh.
Well, there's certainly stage players and floor players, isn't there? Now, the problem is, for the stage players, they've got to win on a floor to get there.
Yeah, exactly. That's the thing.
98.
Decent setup, and Aspinall's throw under severe threats.
96. Marking requires 60.
20 for tops for Special Brew to wrestle back the lead and control of this contest with it.
And there it is, double top. Finally, taken out the first visit to the board. Walsh managed to do that in the third leg. He's done it again. It's another break, 3-2 up.
You're talking about Mark Walsh battling back from the dreaded dartitis. Provides a seamless link into our next fixture. Mark Webster taking on James Richardson, a man who's been fighting back from technical issues with his throw.
Played some very good darts along the way, though, hasn't he?
Well, I watched him in the World Cup, as we all did, with Gerwyn Price run all the way to the final, and it didn't seem as pronounced as it has been for a long, long time in that tournament.
I think Mark Webster, his throw is probably as smooth as we've seen it for a good couple of years. And if that is the case, and Mark Webster is exact illustration of the sort of player we're talking about. Mark Webster does not have a haul of PDC floor titles, but he does have an incredible CV when it comes to the big stage tournaments.
Yeah, especially the World Championship, consistently making the quarterfinals and sometimes even beyond.
100.
Webster against Richardson, your next match, followed by John Henderson against Ray Campbell and Christoph Ratajski against Mark Barilli.
60. Marking requires 161.
4 more fixtures this afternoon following those, and then 8 tonight to complete the first round. And the 16 seeded players join us tomorrow, as always, on these European Tour events.
45.
Well, there's just a sniff of a chance here for Aspinall if he can pile in at least one treble. Now, if he doesn't get one, he's in serious danger of going 4-2 down. There's never been more than a leg in this game so far. That might be about to change now, though.
116.
4.19s for tops for Mark Walsh and a 4-2 lead. Oh, and he's gone the 20s route. Double 18. And there it is, 116 checkout for Mark Walsh, starting to hit his doubles more regularly now.
Well, that's 2 legs in a row. He's gone to the board with a finish in front of him and taken it out.
60.
And if he continues to score as he has been,
100.
you feel that Nathan Aspinall is in trouble because his doubles have not been finding the target anywhere near like as regularly as Mark Walsh's has. But that's not a bad bit of scoring. 134. Needs to win this leg though, you feel, the Stockport lad.
Whenever this one faces Gerwyn Price back in Euro Tour action, having successfully managed to enter the tournament.
Yeah, we were talking about how hard the qualifiers are. Sometimes just entering can be difficult.
100.
And further reference to how difficult qualifying can be as Walshy lines up a max.
140.
Not quite. Is it Aspinall had to beat Darren Webster to book his place in this one. 6-2 after seeing off Ryan Palmer.
137.
Good visit from Aspinall. Down to a 2-darter after 12 darts. But he's not really looks like taking out anything like that. The only double he's managed to hit
100.
is double 5.
So treble 20 here then.
Yeah, it's got to be the route. No, not quite. Double 16.
38. Marking the par.
He's not been that far away on the doubles. He just can't find them.
Walsh has just taken out 116. If you can add 118, it's going to be very, very difficult for Nathan Aspinall to get back in this match, and he has added 118. And I think Nathan Aspinall, Mark Walsh has got your number.
Back-to-back ton plus checkouts for Mark Walsh, whose average just shy of the 90 mark. Not hit a 180, but what, 50%-ish on his doubles? There you go, it's just over 90 now.
140.
But it's the doubling that has made the big, big difference for Mark Walsh. If Aspinall was finishing like Walsh, his average would be as high as his opponent.
140.
And there have been 2 finishers that have been real killer blows. Not massive checkouts, but both ones in which the first dart didn't find the treble target, and Aspinall just getting excited that he might get a shot. But Mark Walsh slamming the door shut in the youngster's face, and now a 180 in this leg has pulled him clear.
100.
Finish line in sight for Mark Walsh, the 52-year-old from Hertfordshire. 181 points, got at least 6 darts to see it off. And it looks like Nathan Aspinall is having a very, very brief stay here in Leverkusen.
Well, a 140 would be absolutely perfect. That first start made it difficult, but I think he's found the treble with the second. He did. Leaves himself on a finish, but it's a huge one, and he may need to take it out to stay alive.
18s for Walshy. Treble gives him a match start. Gets the treble. Oh, it would have been 3 ton plus checkouts in a row. But he is going to come back unless Aspinall takes out a massive one. It could still happen. It's not going to happen. And Walshy, he's missed 1 match start. He's going to get a couple more at least.
Double 15 unless he opts to split. Double 4 then for Mark Walsh. And he pins it, last start in hand. Nathan Aspinall missed doubles early on. That cost him in the end as a couple of ton plus checkouts helped Mark Walsh move through to the second round to take on Gerwyn Price tomorrow. We will hear